Hey, it's your boy Bobby Beach. I want to talk about a subject that comes to mind, and that is if Ghost met Monet, how would that be? If Ghost was to ever come across Monet, I don't know. Basically, if we're saying Ghost was not gone and he was here, because I still think Ghost is alive, but let's just talk about that he's saying he's dead right now. He's alive though in this, and he meets Monet. Let's say Tyreek went to school. He's still doing what he do. He want to hustle on his own because Ghost is like, look, I'll look out for you if you need me to. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. Get them grades and I'll look out for you. And he's pretty much trying to keep Tyreek from the life and everything like that. And Tyreek is just, going around the school making grades, but at the same time, he hustling. So he ends up, being with Zeke anyway, like looking over Zeke and like tutoring Zeke. And he ends up meeting the Tejadas anyway, right? So, okay, Tasha's not in prison in this story. Basically, she's living her life with Yaz and her mom. Ghost is the governor of New York, or in the process of becoming the lieutenant governor of New York. And Tyreek is still living the life. He's still doing what he do with being a hustler. So, okay, say you know how Ghost is. Ghost is doing whatever Ghost do, but then he's looking at Tyreek and saying, you know what? He's at college, but he ain't been saying he want anything. He ain't want no money or nothing like that. So say like, okay, Tyreek goes to Tasha. He's telling her everything about Zeke, the Tejadas, everything. And of course, he meets up with Monet. Monet, of course, does her background research. She say, well, you the son of the governor of New York, of lieutenant of New York. You're hot. Like, if I get caught up with you, you might be too hot. And he's like, nah, but at the same time, my pop's lieutenant governor, and I could cover, like, this is the best thing. And she's probably like, okay, let's do this. So the next thing you know, Ghost comes, he finds out what Tyreek is doing, and then he comes to look at the situation, because he's not going to use forces like that unless he has to. So he walks into the situation with Tejadas. He's going to get his information. He's going to look into her family. He's going to look into Lorenzo, everybody like that, and he's going to say, okay, Tyreek messing with some people that they're not playing around. These people know what they're doing. So he goes and meet up with Monet. Now Monet is smart. Don't get it twisted. Monet is smart like Ghost. Courtney said that she made Monet like a female version of Ghost. So the thing is, when it comes down to it, if Ghost was to meet up with Monet, it's not going to be a situation where he's going to like outsmart her or immediately or anything like that. It's going to be a situation where they're going to go tit for tat. He's smart, she's smart. They're going to be talking with one another big time, going at it with one another. Now, if he meets up with her, he's going to say like, why is Tyreek here? And he's going to ask questions like, what's going on? Like when Tasha met Monet, Tasha knew what it was, but she still was asking questions because it was a situation where Monet was, Tasha is close to Tyreek, but then Monet was becoming close to Tyreek, or had become close to Tyreek. And it was like they were going back and forth, because it was like, listen, Tyreek is my son, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, well, Tyreek is my biggest dude. I'm not about to let him go. So if it comes to Ghost to be like, look, I don't want my son a part of this life. You could do whatever you want. You have nothing to worry about. I ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I don't want my son a part of this. She's like, well, your son got to make his own decisions. He can't really stop him. And it's also a situation where I think Ghost will get his evidence on the Tejadas and say, look, I could shut you down if I ever really wanted to. And she would probably say, well, look, I got some information on you too, Mr. Lieutenant Governor, and I could shut you down too. It'll be a tit for tat situation. It's not going to be a situation where he would overpower her, she would overpower him. Eventually, he may be like, look, I'm going to look after my son. This is his choice. He's going to eventually go at Tyreek about it, but then with Monet, he's going to say, this is his choice, but at the same time, I don't like this shit. That's how Ghost is going to be. But I do want to say, I think that Ghost would look at Monet and he would pretty much respect Monet because of how smart she is, how she carry herself. And he would say, this is a woman that doesn't get caught. This is a woman that knows what she's doing. Do I think Ghost would try to come at Monet? Yes. I think he will look at her and be like, oh my goodness, she's smart. She running the game on her own. Lorenzo was in prison, blah, blah, blah. And I think what will happen is Ghost would get at Monet on the low. Would Monet give in to Ghost? I can't say, but I think that if these two have a mutual respect and she admires the fact that he goes from this drug lord or this big time drug dude to the lieutenant governor, which is hard to even pull off, she would want to admire that too. So there will be some attraction there, because believe it or not, people, intelligence attracts. Ambition attracts, power attracts, and these two would be attracted to each other. Do I think Ghost and Monet would end up with each other on the low? Yeah, I think Ghost and Monet would do the damn thing. I think that Ghost would be looking out for Tyreek. She'll be informing him on stuff about what Tyreek do. He would even be helping her out on how to do things. He would be trying to help them get to the next level. And the number one person Ghost would be looking at will be Lorenzo. So whenever Lorenzo would try to make moves on Monet, mainly from prison, if he does that, Ghost would stop it. If there's any competition that would be trying to come at them, Ghost would stop it. So the whole thing is he would use his lieutenant governor power and his life, and being that he knows the streets so well, as a way to get at whoever tried to get at Monet, to protect Tyreek and Monet and family. Now, how would Ghost interact with Kane? I think Ghost would see Kanan and Kane. He would tell Tyreek, look, you're going to have to keep an eye on King because he's real jealous of how you and Monet is. Monet knows you the number one dude for her. You're going to have to watch him. He's going to keep an eye on Diana. He's going to say, son, you know the game. You know, she likes you. You know, when it comes to a woman, you got to understand something. If you love her back, she'll love you. But if you play with her, hey, she can hurt you. And that's pretty much what he would say. And if he meet up on Drew, I think Ghost would see the same thing in Drew I see. Y'all see Drew's being gay or just want to be like this artist dude and live his life, whatever. I see somebody that is dangerous. Drew is smart. I think Drew is very smart. And I think that he is the one that everyone overlooks because he's not going to present himself as who he is right now. He's going to eventually, I think he's going to become the guy that I think he is. One thing Courtney said was that Drew is like Michael Corleone. When you look at Godfather Part 1, Michael was laid back. He was like the soldier. He's wanted to live his life. He didn't want nothing to do with nothing in terms of he was himself. He didn't want nothing to do with that lifestyle. He come from the mafia life, but he didn't want nothing to do with it. But eventually, he got put into it, and when he got put into it, he went in it to the point that when the Godfather movie was over, he was a totally different person. And I think that's the case with Drew. So I think Ghost would see that about Drew. You say you have to keep your eye on him. You really don't know how he operates. He's very smart. That's how I think Ghost would do things with Tyreek. You know, in terms of like, if that was the case in book 2, Ghost was about Tyreek and Ghost was still alive. But, you know, that's pretty much what I got to say in regards to that matter. I just want to say to all of you guys that it is your boy, Bobby B. So I want to say much love, much respect. This was If Ghost Met Monet. And I just want to say to all of you guys, much love, much respect. Hold it down. And 1.